A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L.
Có khoảng mênh mông nào sâu thẳm hơn tình thương. Ở đâu đây nỗi nhớ em mơ về bên anh. Ngôi sao như xuống thấp cho ta gần nhau hơn.
UITUVWXYZ.
In parts of the world torn by decades of war and genocidal violence, an American International Library project is planting the seeds of hope, one library at a time. In America, we take literacy for granted. Access to information is as close as the internet, if not in our homes, then at the nearest public library. But in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia, where millions have died in decades of violence and oppression, such access is only a dream. Chuck Toish, an American businessman from Milwaukee, is doing his best to make those dreams come true by building public libraries throughout all three countries. The project began in 1999 when curiosity about the country he had first seen as an American infantryman during the Vietnam War brought him back.
Yeah, I had an impulse to come back that had been latent for a long time, but about 30 years after I was here the first time, 69 and 70, I finally decided I'd reached the point in my life where I wanted to do that, and that's what I did. So now we're standing here in Hanoi.
Not only did Toish return, he met many people, among them former enemies, who touched his heart. Seeing a country that welcomed international cooperation, he sought a project that would improve the lives of the Vietnamese people.
Also had another impulse there that I wanted to do something, and at first it was going to be a bridge. But my Vietnamese friend here suggested that what his country really needed was libraries, because Vietnam has never really had libraries like we have in the Western sense. And so the idea came from our in-country representative, an old former ARVN officer. And it's something they needed, something we understand, and so it's been a good collaboration between the Vietnamese and Americans.
Toish used funds he had earmarked for a world tour to establish a nonprofit library foundation. With support from other donors, mostly fellow Vietnam veterans, the first library in Quang Ngai, where he had been stationed, was dedicated in 2001.
We've got 15 projects in Vietnam right now, and they're located all the way from Tai Binh, which is on the Gulf of Tonkin, down to Kiên Giang, which is down in the Delta and borders Cambodia. But our first library was in Quang Ngai province, and where I had served during the war. And then but our main focus has been in Quang Tri province, which is the province that straddles the old demilitarized zone, or the 17th parallel.
In Quang Tri province, where several libraries have been built, the goal is an electronically linked provincial library system. A long-term goal is the linkage of libraries throughout Vietnam.
Yeah, that's something that's really exciting, and we hope that other people will kind of pick up that excitement, because they've never had a public library system like we are so taking for granted in the U.S., which is a terrific system, number one in the world. And we hope to bring that idea to Vietnam. And we have cooperation with the officials here to do that in Quang Tri province. There are 10 districts in Quang Tri province, and we've built major libraries in 6 of those 10 districts. And in those libraries, we've got books and a computer and are getting internet service in. We want to build 4 more, link up those libraries with computers and with a bookmobile that will travel from library to library. And for the first time, they would have a provincial library system like our systems, where you can exchange books and information and resources, so we can multiply our holdings and multiply the use. And there's a special kind of energy for that here in Vietnam, a Western kind of a Western library system, as opposed to individual buildings just kind of indiscriminately plotted around the landscape. The grand dream is a national public library system that links up all these provincial public library systems. And that's a way off in the distance, but we've calculated with our program it's about $22 million is what that would cost to do that. And sometimes when I see a baseball contract, all I see is a national public library system in Vietnam, because it's off in the distance. We're just small now, but we have a principle, and that is the principle: we want to be big by being small. Our projects are small, but we can manage them well. The largest project's $35,000, and the small ones are $5,000 to $15,000. So this allows us to manage well. We don't have a shrinkage in our donors. When a donor gives money, it gets to the project.
The project's focus is on building libraries in rural and remote areas like Quang Tri, where Toy says the need is greatest.
Yeah, you know, I come from a farm in Wisconsin, and about every 3 or 4 miles in every township, somewheres back in the 1880s and thereabouts, somebody had the vision to build a little schoolhouse. And really what they need here and what they're trying to do is the same concept, is to go where nobody has gone before and build something nobody has built before. And that's libraries in these hinterland areas, because we know that there's opportunity out there for the children in those areas is going to lead to peace and expansion in the future.
Most of the libraries are built in the rural areas, and the farmers in the remote areas, they need to have books about, let's say, husbandry or agriculture or planting trees or taking care of animals or take care of their children or some daily technology or something like that. So when the libraries are built, we feel that we have a big response from the local community. And many of them find that the books in the libraries is the great help. We don't build the library alone or far away from other buildings. We want to have what we call a cultural complex, which is a school around it, or the cultural center, or the children club, or something around it, and to make the whole thing as the cultural complex. And somewhat the library becomes the center of the activities in the rural area, in the community.
The project's libraries are substantial monuments to literacy and free access to information, as well as the importance of international cooperation. Their design echoes traditional American library architecture, but they are uniquely a part of their local culture, built and operated by the communities they serve.
There's an excitement about education here anyway. It's been ingrained in the culture for thousands of years. So you don't have to sell the idea of education. And then you come with the idea of a library that could hold anything, not just polemical works. In the Western sense, there's an enthusiasm for it and a commitment to it by the local officials that makes doing the projects pretty easy, because the cooperation is terrific and the deep commitment of the public in these communities to do it. Not only build the libraries, continue to sustain them and to make them grow. When we come back to visit them, we're greeted with open arms, and there's a human side of the libraries too, and that's as exciting as the practical implications of getting books to people that haven't had books.
Nowhere is the need for libraries greater than in Laos, one of the region's poorest countries. In villages like Van Lao Yai, where there is no electricity and students study in buildings with dirt floors, Madame Kangdran Natavong is struggling to build small dreams.
I need some support from individuals, some organization come to see me and to work together, or because many villages need library like this. It's a small library. Finish everything, include the table, book service, book, and staff formation.
For $35,000, the Library Project Foundation can build a library that will serve as a cultural centerpiece for the community and a catalyst for growth for the surrounding region. Some libraries, called Small Dreams, can be built for as little as $5,000 to $15,000.
Not not computer, because according to the village, sometimes they have the electricity, sometimes they don't have. But the small like this, we cannot use computer, but we bring the more book, because we promote reading promotion. We promote people to read before.
Between 1975 and 1979, some 2 million Cambodians, about a fourth of the country's population, died in genocidal violence. In rural Takeo Province, near the capital city of Phnom Penh, the project supports the work of Cambodian journalist Lor Chandara, who believed so strongly in the need for libraries that he turned his own family's home into one.
This is important because in Cambodia, just the country emerged from the war, and the Khmer Rouge just killed the intellectual people, and they destroy the books. And so we think that if we want to rebuild the country, and we need the human capital, human resource, and we need the people get educated. And the library is one of the project that can provide the people, they come to learn through the books and reading material. And it's like when one come to read the book, and then it's like they can get access to the outside world. This project, I want to change like the people thinking, and Cambodian people do not have reading habits, so try to inspire them to reading the book, and especially the library project is important in democracies, and without the knowledge, and we cannot build up in anything, even the countries.
But libraries represent far more than bricks and mortar, or even books and magazines. They are monuments to peaceful cooperation, to building relationships.
Cho ta gần nhau hơn, đêm nghe tiếng mưa rơi, đêm mây triệu hạt rồi mà.
He said the song is about the relationship, the love, the passion between the two people, American and Vietnamese in general, and between the Quang Tri people and the Library of Vietnam projects in particular. And she hopes that the relationship will last long and will become better and better.
The idea is that building the library, we say, is the first half of our promise and commitment, not only in the communities we do it, but to the donors that help make it possible. The key is coming back. We have a motto. The last thing we say when we leave one time is, this is only the beginning, we always come back. And when we come back, we try to even add just a few books, something to continue the relationship personally and to continue it practically to expand the library. And this creates a closeness and a sense of camaraderie with the officials that gets us working together. How can we improve management? How can we keep open more hours or educate our librarians further? And we're part of those decisions because we always come back and we continue to contribute, even if only in a small way, a few $100s a year. So I think that's the bigger side of our project, is what we do continuing. And that, I think, should be exciting for anybody thinking about getting involved with our library project.